Hey you guys, it's me making a video. You see, I don't like making videos because it takes so long to upload, but I don't ever get anybody on a live stream. I did a live stream last night and there were 2 or 3 people on it, and then when I clicked up, when I ended it and I went to upload it, it said there were 0 views. 0 views when I saw people were watching it. I mean, JDO commented on it with me. So I know that he saw it, but it still gave me 0 views for it. It's a hot, muggy day in North Carolina. I've started my day off not in a good way. I woke up hurting. My shoulder is just spunt. It looks like rain, although they said rain was not in the forecast. I got a big project I'm working on, top secret of course. And for the last 2 days I ain't done nothing, and it has to be done ASAP. A lot of moving parts in this project, and it's a, you could say, life or death project. It's that important. Is that a weird shadow, or is that just how filthy I am? That's how filthy I am. Okay. So I started my day watching TV. I lay in the bed, I do my praying in the morning, try to get my body moving, because it takes a while to get cranked up. And I can get up and rush to the bathroom to piss because I'm running on pure penetration, or not penetration, but pure adrenaline. Adrenaline gets me up when I got the pissitration. So I can get up and do that real quickly, but when it's get up and get busy doing something of value, it's hard. Because as a targeted individual, I got 1,000 pounds of weight on my shoulders that I can't shake. And I'm thinking it's probably, well, it's not probably, it's the EMFs that I endure. I mean, are targeted individuals sensitive to EMF, or is it just turned up on us? Had a conversation this morning with a person that I don't find intelligent at all. I watched a YouTube video, and I got to be kind of tactful on how I say this. Not because I'm worried about my involvement or my anonymity. It's just stupid. Told you guys I watch a lot of First Amendment audits, and there are a lot of channels I really like, and there are a lot of channels that I hate when it comes to First Amendment audits. I've told you about Rogue Nation, George Metz. I've told you about him when he first started his channel. I was like, I'll see it when you sue, and then he showed paperwork, and then he showed us how to sue, and I got his phone number, had my way to get a hold of him, got his phone number, text him, and said, okay, I got you back. All those guys that stand up and do the right thing and follow through, because listen, I screwed up. I had a perfect lawsuit and I failed getting it done. Time got away from me, and that's the whole thing is we get 2 years to file a lawsuit in North Carolina. Cops can come back on you as long as they want to now. Just like with Donald Trump, they'll take the law where it's got an ending and then they'll open it back up just to be able to arrest you in statute of limitations. So I lost. I wasted too much time, and it was a banger. It was a First Amendment case. It was plain and simple. He threatened my freedom of speech, and then they enacted an unlawful trespass on me to make sure that let me know that I better be quiet. Well, that didn't work, of course, but I failed. I did not get it done. But a lot of these channels, they're making money. They're making good money because they're not silenced, and it just goes to show you. I can do the same exact thing that every other channel on the planet is doing, and they will not let me get viewers. They will not. I am totally cut off at the knees. Tina the other day made a comment, and let me tell you this for the ladies in the audience. Kicking us in the face or punching us in the balls doesn't hurt as bad as you saying something hurtful to us. Now, men say hurtful things, and I understand that we do. Everybody hurts everybody with their mouth. The Bible says the power of life and death is in the tip of the tongue. That's truth. men, and I'll just say me, I would use my mouth to be mean because I can't put my hands on you. Now, if you were a grown man, I wouldn't just sit there and call you a dummy or call you a bitch. I'd just grab you and shake you and make you realize how dumb your decision is to get in my way. So she made some comment the other day about, and again, I'm not disparaging her, I'm just saying, about how when we first moved in together, I was so enthralled in my targeting. But she made it sound like it was all in my head. So then I called her out. I said, well, okay, those planes that write my name in the sky, the drones, and then she's like, oops, I opened up a can of worms. Because when I went dead silent, quit talking about it, quit recording planes, quit doing everything, when I just hushed, then she's like, all you do is talk about targeting. For the people that are not targeted, and for the people who are not targeted but still believe us, you have no clue. And I'm being as polite, and I appreciate all of you who are not targeted, who listen and who believe. You have no clue how bad it is. I cannot think a thought without them showing me my thought. The technology with AI is so, and I first look at all that. Look at all that. You missed that. Did you see all the red cars? There's like 8 red cars lined up in a row. Oh, that's just a coincidence. Not with me. I firmly believe that my name, my identity was sold to Facebook and social media. It used to be, and I told you guys to do this experiment, to think of a word or an item or an object and never say it. Do something out of the wall, that a word you never use, a name of something, an item that you never use, and nobody's ever going to say it in a conversation. Just think about it around your cell phone, and it will pop up in your YouTube feed. It will pop up on your Facebook ads. They are reading minds. They told you they were going to do it, and nobody believed they could do it. They're doing it. The speed of which they can do it now is within, and the variant here is depending on how fast I check my phone. And I don't check Facebook all that often unless I'm buying and selling, and marketplace is addictive. I've noticed I get addicted to scrolling and looking for things to buy and sell. So when I'm watching YouTube, it can be, I think a thought, and I sit down on the couch, I turn on YouTube, and within 10 minutes, what I thought of, not said, what I thought of pops up in a YouTube commercial. I mean, I'm showing you guys my keyboard on my phone. A while back, they changed 2 letters around. They switched 2 letters around on my keyboard, and I showed that. Well, the last one is they switched my Y and my Z. They're trying to reprogram me just that little bit to slow me down. I've shown Tina, and she's seen it, and this is what amazes me, how she made the comment to jokingly hurt me about, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. When you can't be alone in your own mind, you cannot imagine the detriment that has on your psyche. When you can't be alone here, they could put you in a prison cell and lock you down and watch you from a camera. That ain't nothing compared to them being in your mind and reading everything you think. It's so good now. I firmly believe that they can have AI hooked up to you and they print out a movie. AI, you know, they got these AI movies now. They can print up that AI movie in real time as you're thinking. I firmly believe that. Firmly. I don't know how I got off on that. I feel real distant from God right now. I haven't been doing what I needed to do. I haven't been concentrating on Him. I haven't been praying as much. I've been concentrating on listening to music and listening to preaching and listening to podcasts, and I need to be focused on God. And I've gotten a little distracted here, so I gotta get back on to listen to my preaching. And when you're listening to a preacher online and you're doing something, I cannot concentrate. I can't do two things at once. I can do them, but each one of the things I'm doing, I'm not giving 100%. So when I'm working and I'm building something, or I'm digging something, or I'm feeding something, I can't concentrate and just pay attention to the sermon at hand. Now, I'm listening and I'm talking and I'm praying the whole time I'm working. I try to pray the whole time I'm working. Getting ready to pass 93,000 miles on my truck. Watch this. 93,000 original miles. 93,000 original miles. Anyway, all the stuff that Tina has seen, and listen, I've told you, she's under mind control too. With this, all the crap they're dumping on us from above us, all the metals on our skin, we're soaking it in, all the metals inside of our bodies. We are giant antennas. We are giant satellite dishes walking around, and they can control the entire population. I've been in situations, that's why it's so imperative as a targeted individual to not get angry. When your adrenaline gland is pumping adrenaline, you can't think as clearly. Man, that's not nice. You can't. Second time I've seen that truck in 3 days. That's odd. You can't think clear. I can't think clearly when I'm upset. And it doesn't take but a second for them to grab you, and control your actions or your mouth to get you to commit a crime, to get you to say something that's going to hurt someone you love, to turn them against you. It's off the wall craziness. I watched the video. I'll go back to my initial point, maybe, if I have time. I'm running out of time while I'm driving. The proof that I'm silenced is, I mean, you guys should see it, but watched the video last night, and it's a professional looking woman, and she's talking to someone, and she's like, they're breaking in my house, they're doing this, and the title of it is something like, I've been gang stalked, and she doesn't, as far as I know, she doesn't post on videos. She doesn't have a YouTube base, but here she is. I'm assuming, and I may be completely wrong, I'm assuming she doesn't have a large following. Boom, she got over 1,000 views. How are these people getting all these views? How? I've got almost 1,000 subscribers and I can't get but 50 views. I can't get but 100 views. So how do people that are first online, first on YouTube, boom, 1,000 views on the first video? It took me 3 years to get 1,000 views on just one video. That's because the noose around my neck. I am silenced, I am censored that much. So I'll go back to my initial thought. I watched a YouTube video. I'm not going to say where, because I don't want to direct you guys to it, because it'll give up the goat. This guy standing out in front of a firearms shop. First time I've watched this video. Standing out in front of a firearms shop, and this guy comes out from the firearms store, and he's talking to him, and everything's kind of cool, tentative, but kind of cool at first. And then they start getting threatening. Now, these are guys that own a firearms shop. They're an FFA location. They have a license. They are licensed by the ATF. By the way, bump stocks are legal again. Bump stocks are now legal again. They never were illegal, but the ATF tried to make them illegal. So the first guy comes out, and he's a little standoff and agrees to the premise of the audit, of the First Amendment audit. Then he starts getting louder, and then his buddy comes out. This is in front of a gun shop. These guys sell guns. And the other guy comes up, and then they both are talking smack like, I'll beat your ass, and I'll do this, and I'll do that. The auditor did say, well, you better get away from me, or you can suck my dick, or something like that. I mean, they were trading back and forth. But this gun shop, how dumb can you be? I mean, the guys knew about First Amendment audits. They knew all about it, and yet they still took the bait. A lot of these firearms shops, like pawn shops that sell guns, they have an FFL license. Look at this. I'm talking about a firearm shop, and right here in big letters on this truck beside me is A&E Tactical Supplies, Custom Holsters and Ammo. You get it? A&E Tactical Supply. Coincidence, I'm just now started talking about a gun shop, and he slows down enough for me to get beside of him. That happens all the time, don't it? I'm in the Matrix. That's bizarre. It's not bizarre for me. It happens all the time. So, these guys really show their ass. I didn't watch the whole video. Wasn't no need to, because they showed their butts. I'm for the First Amendment, but I don't like you standing out front of my shop. Stupid. So I call the shop. I'm all about calling people up and saying my opinion, because I want to be. I'm invisible in my house. If I can get on the phone, call somebody and bitch a little bit, it feels good. I gotta not see him when I do it. That's the hard part, not seeing him. So I called the guy on the phone, and the same guy answered the phone. I said, dude, that was really stupid. Taking the bait. You had a photographer on the sidewalk piss you off so much that you threatened him. We didn't threaten him. We didn't threaten him. You watch the video. We didn't threaten him. We just cussed him out. So then I say, you know how dumb it is to be a gun shop? The regulations are so strict from the ATF, and they have taken away hundreds of licenses to sell firearms. I mean, that one guy the last maybe 6 months ago, was murdered in his home by the ATF for selling guns lawfully. This was a dude making $300,000 a year. He ran the airport in his area. He was an important guy, and they slaughtered him. So I'm talking to Mr. Gun Dealer. I'm like, man, that's stupid. I said, you're going to risk losing your business for being stupid. He cussed me out and threatened me, and I just hung up. And I call from my number, guys. I don't do that star 69 garbage. I'm not trying to hide myself. To show his ignorance, he calls right back. Man, why don't you just call and have a talk about it? I was like, well, you were cussing me. What's the point? I said, dude, oh man, I need to get gas. Wow. I said, do you realize how stupid it is for you to be getting in a person's face who's on a public sidewalk with your firearm on your side, threatening them? Do you know how stupid that is? We didn't break the law. I can do what I want. It's my business. He may be here to steal it. I said, listen, dude. You ever heard of John Boy and Billy? John Boy and Billy was a radio show in the 90s. And they used to have a segment called Dumb Crook News, where criminals did really stupid stuff. I said, you think this guy's so dumb, he's going to stand out front of your shop on video with a camera and his identity on YouTube where everybody knows him, but then he's going to break in your shop and rob you? You know how stupid that sounds? As soon as I talk about a cop, what happens? There they are. Criminals. So, no, man, ain't no way gonna take my license. It don't happen like that. I said, are you stupid? They ain't gonna mess with us. I got friends that are law enforcement. I said, are you dumb? You really think law enforcement's going to protect you when they get a piece of paper that says go after you? The government are arresting innocent people and putting them in prison for nothing. And here you are, a gun dealer in front of your gun shop with your guns on your side, threatening a man on a public sidewalk for filming. You know how dumb that can't happen. I said, are you dumb? That can't happen. All these people that believe in the rule of law but don't see that the rule of law has been turned on the people. He said something like, well, that guy's got a criminal history a mile long. He's a thief and breaking and entering and beats women and all this. He's like, you're probably a criminal too. He said the cops arrest him all the time. I said, well, what would you think that the cops keep arresting him and maybe he's innocent and they're harassing him? When does it stop? When can you say that man is trying to change his life and cops are still messing with him? Because listen, I'm going to tell you from experience, I haven't been convicted of a crime in very many years, but I'm still a felon. I'm still on a terrorist watch list and I did nothing wrong. So he's like, he wanted to talk about the law. He's harassing us. And I was like, wait a second, whoa. I said, harassment is a legal term. Harassment is a repeated, God, I've lost my train of thought. Repeated actions meant to intimidate, harass, and threaten. Repeated. That's day after day after day. I said, that's case law. Or that's what the law says. You know, I don't care about law. I said, wait a second. You just talked about law. You just talked about how he's a criminal and all this and all that, and cops are on your side and they are the law. But then when I talk about law, law don't matter here. And I talk about law and there goes a sheriff. 2 sheriffs. Bizarre yet? I don't want to talk about that. It's that these copsuckers are the same as police officers. When they approach you, they want to talk about the law. And then when you give them case law, I don't want to talk about the law. It's just like that cops want to talk to you about something, and then they want to make a hypothetical. Well, if Bubba Ray went to point A with a blue shirt on, the cops have to use law 2521 to arrest Bubba Ray. And then you come back with your own analogy. Oh, we don't want to talk about analogies. We need to talk about this situation right here. I'm like, why am I having this conversation with a person that doesn't have the mental abilities to think rationally? So he says, that guy's just a criminal. He's a career criminal. I said, well, what if that camera's his way of getting out of crime? Well, he's harassing. I said, nope, not legal. It's not. I said, if he was standing out there yelling and screaming at your shop, raising hell, there's a cop right there. Look at that, how many cops I've seen this morning. I said, if he was out there without a camera in his hand, acting a fool repeatedly day after day after day, okay. But as long as he's holding that camera, that's a constitutionally protected activity. It's freedom of the press. He's like, well, me and you probably agree on a lot. I said, we probably do, but it's your execution that is wrong. Because, see, he would want to get a man locked up and imprisoned for standing outside on the sidewalk filming his business. But law shouldn't apply to him and his buddy when they walk up with guns on their sides, threaten the guy who's not breaking the law. We didn't threaten him. Now, granted, there's a such thing as a direct threat and an indirect threat. An indirect threat is if I think you're going to hit me, I'm going to beat your butt. That's an indirect threat. Now, it's also a warning. Hey, you know, it's like a rattlesnake. I'm shaking my rattle. So these guys in front of a gun shop with guns on their hips, threatening a man on the sidewalk. But he's a criminal. At what point is his sentence over? His time is served that he's no longer a criminal. And when I told him, dude, it's YouTube. It never goes away. You get the right leftist in the wrong place, and you lose your livelihood. You lose your... Oh, that can't happen. I said, are you stupid? I said, I've been watching the congressional hearings of the weaponization of government, where hundreds, if not thousands, of gun dealers that have been in business. That one guy in Florida had been in business for 70 years selling firearms. He sold millions of guns and never once had a problem until this ATF took over. And now they're going after him for clerical problems, which they weren't even laws to begin with, but they retroacted them anyway. They can't hurt me. Cops come in here all the time. I said, do you think when those cops have a piece of paper with your name on it that they ain't gonna come to your house with guns and kick the freaking door in to get you? This is how stupid his thinking is. And this is how stupid many on the right are. It just shocks me. And Jimmy Dore did a story yesterday, but I mean I told you guys years ago that the ATF and the FBI, they're getting rid of every employee that supports Trump and every employee that refuses to get the vaccination. They're getting rid of them. They're kicking them out. They're pushing them out so that they can have one mind groupthink, the hive mind. The people on the right see a badge and a costume, and it's like, pardon me, Lord, their mouth and their throat open up, and they're like, please, let me suck your boots. Let me lick your boots. Please, you're our heroes. I'm like, when in history have the cops been the good guys? When? Power always corrupts. Always. Never been a time it didn't. I think George Washington was the only leader with power who said, nope, I don't want a monarchy. I don't want to be king. I want a republic. So bizarre to me. But these people on the right, they don't care. They do not care. All they call law enforcement's on our side. Do they not understand it's law enforcement that raided Donald Trump's house at Mar-a-Lago, went through his underwear drawer? It was law enforcement that took paperwork and they brought their classified sheets and laid on top of them and said, look, classified sheets laying all over the floor. It was perfectly orchestrated. It was law enforcement that set Donald Trump up. What? Law enforcement, they're the good guys. They're on our side. I'll be right back. I gotta open this. They just don't understand. They're thinking, well, the Nazis are bad, but they're not going to come for me because I cheer for them. What? And finally the conversation got to the point, I said, dude, I like schooled him on 4 points and he couldn't understand it. It hit an absolute brick wall in his mind. He could not rationalize what I was saying. Couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand it. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.